Welcome back to my channel. The most important thing in life is being silent so that you can listen to whatever the universe has to say to you, and you're not always telling and dictating what the universe has to do for you. When was the last time you were fully silent? We are so used to always blabbering out whatever we think in that moment, and rarely literally listen to this world or to the people around us. But being silent just means that you're not important. The world just is. It's as if you forget yourself in the whole role playing of I am this, and I am this old, and I have that job, and I have to get from A to B, and just here. And of course, we say much more than we should. I remember being in a meditation camp in Sri Lanka, and it said that we were only allowed to speak in consciousness for half an hour. I was there with my partner at the moment, and I was only allowed to speak half an hour, whatever I needed to speak, and I noticed that every day that passed, I didn't have to speak that much anymore.
When we finish, on the left-hand side we'll find the bathroom and some cute white boxes where you can deposit your helmets. Do you need to catch the shuttle bus back from south to north?
I guide people into their balance and into their silence. I've heard from a lot of people that I wouldn't pay for letting me be brought into silence, into my own silence of my heart. I can do that by myself. I don't need anyone around. I would never pay for that. I would never pay for a service like that. But you will rarely find someone in this life who has found their balance, who has found their own silence. We are steering a ship called our body, and this body is full of thoughts, full of pictures of the past and the wanted future, the sausage in front of us that always wants something, the desire of the future, and we are rarely in the now. We let ourselves be trained for years to become specialists in our jobs. Years and hours, and if we feel it or not, we go for the job, but we don't do the same with our heart, and that thing that could be medicine for us all is our health. And your health is dependent on that you become silent and you listen more to this world. I don't know what the importance of silence is for you, but I can describe you my silence. My silence is that my heart beat and the blood pressure always stay the same. Even if things occur, I do not have a faster heartbeat. Even if things happen, is like my heartbeat stays the same because I'm not dependent on the outer circumstances. And this exercise you can only exercise if you stay in silence, because you can't start preparing for something that happens in your life and then wanting the body to be very calm, because your body follows your thoughts. If I tell my body, even in the worst situations, that everything is okay, the body can't even go into any kind of drama in itself. And why I do that is the reason why I longed for happiness. I don't want to knock on any doctor's door. I want to stay healthy. And I am now going into my life on a journey, just like I'm doing this hike. And I want to be independent in that. And I can only stay independent probably until old age if me and my body and my thoughts and my heart can rely on each other, that we feel secure. Who knows if we are secure in real life, and who knows if we will stay secure? But I tell my body, we are secure. I always say that silence speaks with you. In silence, you can hear your own heartbeat. In silence, you can imagine beautiful beats, music beats. In silence, you have a blank canvas. It's allowed to just unfold itself, just like on a hike. It's allowed to just be. And you don't have to impose yourself onto the world all the time. Silence works the best, of course, if you are alone. As soon as two people are together, you will not imagine how often you want to say something, even it's the most random thing, because it's, of course, something that is quite social. We just talk with each other. We want to interact with each other. We want to show each other that we have empathy for each other. And being silent, I think that's why there are so many yogis in the Himalayas. They just want to be uninterrupted with God and them. Nothing in between, because in silence, I think that's where his voice gets heard. I heard that the name Homo sapiens comes from a habitual being, not a doer the whole time. So we are here to be. When our stomach is full, we should be the most satisfied species on earth. But as soon as our stomachs are full, I think every species is afraid of every human being, because as soon as a human being's stomach is full, the problems start. With every other species, it's the other way round. Stomach is full, problem is solved. With humans, it's stomach is full, problem occurs. And I have noticed that I have only one weapon in this world: to conquer my fears, my disappointments, my dramas, my own story of life, my future problems. I only have my breath. And my breath I can take anywhere with me. We are like imprisoned in this body with our own voice. We can nearly never stop this inner voice, this inner chatter, this inner roommate that always surrounds us, takes us everywhere with. We take them everywhere with us. These voices, these thoughts, and we hang on to them, and we hang on to our story of life until we notice that we are quite boring inside. If I would tell you my whole stories and everything that has traumatized me and everything that I'm wishing and I'm desiring, it's only interesting for this little inner chatterbox inside, my little black box that I'm taking around with me, no one else. And inside of other people, there's probably a lot of chatter going on. That means if you're outside silent, doesn't mean that you're inside silent. For those people who think that silence has no worth for them, show me something in your life that money can't buy, and that is peace. And tell me if you are peaceful. Tell me and look me in your eyes and hold my hands and tell me that you have found the holy grail of peace. Because that's something money will never buy. And if you look at it, school was already hectic and chaotic and not fulfilling, not heart fulfilling. Then you get a partner who doesn't really fulfill every need. Then you go to a job, doesn't fulfill every need, and all you're doing it for is money. But the only thing is, once you leave this planet, and for me, the day I'm going to leave this planet is going to be maybe the most important day of my life. And if I haven't practiced, maybe I'll be 90 years of being able to connect to this world and to myself. Then what did I do here? Did I just purchase things? Did I just desire things? Did I just want things all the time? Anything that you have ever bought just gave you comfort. Of course, we are all comfort creatures, but you cannot imagine the comfort you can get if you are silent with yourself, and the world around you can be loud like this river in this gorge between these cliffs and mountains. The world is allowed to be very, very loud if it wants to. It can also be very silent. But one thing is a fact: you have to become silent before the world even appears. I find it funny that we most of the time have the silence and the happiness that our mother has lived. If she's still alive, you have normally the happiness level of your mother or your father, and you don't even make the effort to go one step higher. It's like buying a better car, it's like walking better, it's like eating better, breathing better. My mom never was interested in any kind of breath. She was interested in this world. This world sucked her into her attention. She wanted to see everything, have everything. And I was the total opposite. I knew that with more possessions, more problems come more reliabilities, more responsibilities. I just wanted to be responsible for the moment, as I said, as I leave this earth, that I know that I've tried my best to practice something that not a lot of people in my family have ever practiced. And that was walking and always having attention on my breath. There are moments in my life that I've had days where I was in total bliss. Not any relationship, not any sexual connection, not anything that I've ever purchased in my life has ever given me the gift of being in bliss, being purposefully in bliss, consciously in bliss. I've had it on a few days in my life where on one day I sat all day in meditation, didn't change my posture, couldn't get out of this feeling of being so connected. And the same happened here on the Camino del Rey hike, where I was just in myself, with myself, and whatever surrounds me. Have you ever asked yourself not just what silence is, but what would you fill that silence with? And are you happy at the moment? And would you want this whole day to be in the most happiest mood that you've ever been? Or would you rather come with a Lamborghini in front of the whole park so that everyone sees you and your status quo is admired? Or are you here for yourself? Are you here to enjoy the nature, your working feet who just walk the whole time, and you're allowed to breathe in this fresh air and see these views? Or is it about the Lamborghini in front of the entrance? The same as with your life. Even if you've made it, what they always say. How often did you today smile and have a spark in your eyes? How often did you get a little hug from someone else? How often does someone ask how you are? How often does someone else want to be in your vicinity? How often do you just do things? How often do you give yourself space to be and to explore something new and just be? Let the life flow, let the day flow, let the people around you be also allowed to have their space. I don't know what you're striving for, what your goal is in life, but silence has taught me everything because it gave me space. As much as this hidden valley here gave me space, or my life in general, silence has given me a space to be. I was allowed to listen. You can call it whatever you want. I call it intuition. And it sometimes drags me sometimes to places where I don't know how I end up in them. It's called intuition. And it's a very, very loud voice in my head. And I listen to it because I give it the air to breathe and the space to be. Silence, of course, is about transformation because you're not used to it. You're used to getting orders, you're used to serving whoever is in front of you for whatever reason. You're used to it, but you're not used to silence because your life hasn't been silent up until now. So I challenge you to switch off Netflix, or if you can't, leave Netflix on and just breathe in and out. And I'll tell you, the moment I breathe in and out, I'll do 2 breaths and you will be doing 5 or 6 in the same time. That's called very flat breathing. In silence, you give yourself the space and the exercise to maybe deep dive into your breath. Because your breath is linked with your heart, and your heart is linked with your brain, and your brain is linked with your hormones. And your hormones and brain are linked with the lips that might be able to sometimes grin really, really big. For no reason at all, or like here in this situation, for climbing to heights that you never thought you could reach. And think about it, how many things you have already reached in your life and you're not even happy about it. So happiness has normally nothing to do with the outer world. Who cares where your little feet are? If they're upstairs on a bridge, crossing the gorge, if they're right now on a couch in front of Netflix, doesn't matter. When you close your eyes, you have all the possibilities, unlimited possibilities of breath, image, and serving the world. if you give that intuition space, for me, it's God's voice, and you listen to it, and there's a time limit to everything. I always say if you don't use that time, that something is really knocking on your door, the train will leave. But if you use that time wisely, the universe will accompany you on a journey, on a hike, on meeting the right people at the right time, on doing the right things, and you will laugh and smile and be happy with it.
Shivers run through my spine with the freezing moonlight. It's long after midnight, but my eyes are open wide. Dying of inner pain, I can hardly feel it. Maybe I've gone insane, but it seems like your voice is calling my name. It's calling my name. It's calling my name. Wake me up from my dreams, full of sadness and tears. And I know you can save me. I know you can set me free, burning down. You can set me burning down all my past, leaving it all behind. And I know you can save me. I know you can set me free. Shivers run through my spine with the freezing moonlight. It's long after midnight, but my eyes are open wide. Dying of inner pain, I can hide.